Hey folks, and welcome back to Glenn and Adrian's Rock Talk. That's Adrian.
And that's Glenn.
And today we're looking at another somewhat unknown artist by the name of Bill Fay. This is an English songwriter who made a couple albums right around 1970-71. Had a couple singles out too, I believe, but lost his deal, went on to, I believe, become a postal worker for a while. Or something, maybe he was in a library. He took some other job, like a clerical job, and his music was mostly lost for a while, but then some people started to notice them. So we're looking at a song today called Be Not So Fearful. This is possibly the most famous song of his, just to the regular mainstream listeners, because Jeff Tweedy has done it, and it actually made an appearance in the Wilco documentary, I Am Trying to Break Your Heart. And it's also been done by Nick Cave, I believe. He did a Bill Fay song of some type. I'm just not sure which one it was, but he is also a fan. He was hailed by some as being similar to Nick Drake. I'm not sure if I would agree with that per se, but he is a quiet guy with very insightful and inner voice lyrics, I would say. And the music is interesting. It's generally contemplative. So this is not a very long song. It'd be interesting to see if anybody's actually heard it before, whether or not by Bill Fay or by anybody else. Later on, after Jeff Tweedy had done the song, it got famous enough that he brought Bill Fay out on stage to sing it with him, which was the first time that Bill had been on stage for something like 35 years. So good on him for that. And then after that, he started making more albums. You can't really see it back there, but that's his most recent album from 2020, Countless Branches. Really fine, contemplative record. Does a lot of piano work on it. I thought this would be worth bringing in, just to see who knows it, or who would like to. So Adrian, any thoughts before we take a look at this?
Well, I don't know this song. I've got one of the guy's records, but it's another record. It's not the one that this song is from.
That's right. You said Last Time of the Persecution or something?
Time of the Last Persecution.
There you go. I should know this. Yeah, at one point I bought up a lot of his stuff. I'll mention this is actually the CD it comes off of. Mm-hmm. And notice the hype sticker says, "The missing link between Nick Drake, Ray Davies, and Bob Dylan." Now, I'm not sure if that's, I don't know about that, but he is worth your time just to listen to, at least once, because it's a nice mood that he sets. And yeah, I've got a bunch of others here that kind of came out after, basically, he became well known again. So that's great. He's put out more records ever since then than he ever did back in the day, which is great news. So, all right, so with that, why don't we go ahead and look at this, and we'll talk about it after.
All righty.
Be not so nervous, be not so frail. Someone watches you, you will not fail. Be not so nervous, be not so frail. Be not so nervous, be not so frail. Be not so sorry for what you've done. You must forget them now, it's done. And when you wake up, you will find you can run. Be not so sorry for what you've done. Be not so fearful, be not so pale. Someone watches you, you will not leave the rails. Be not so fearful, be not so pale. Be not so fearful, be not so pale. Be not so sorry for what you've done. You must forget them now, it's done. And And when you wake up, you will find you can run. Be not so sorry for what you've done.
Nice peaceful ending, kind of a quick song. Take note, by the way, that on the album cover here, he's actually walking on water. Which is not unlike, you were saying, the time of the last persecution actually delves deeply into religious themes, and uncertainty. So it's just interesting to see it here too. That's all.
He must be standing on a sandbar or something.
Oh, well, I mean, there's trick, before Photoshop, you could still do tricky things with the camera. Yeah. So I'm sure that's what that was.
Well, compared to the record that I have, his voice is very different on this one, as is the overall sound and feeling of the song.
Yeah, the album was pretty well string arranged, and some would say that it was over arranged in a lot of spots. But I don't know. I think maybe it adds to the charm a little bit because it was the time when you would do things like that. I mean, I think this was out in 1970, maybe 71. A lot of strings in pop hits at the time. And I'm sure they were trying to get a hit. So.
Yeah, there are some recognizable qualities in his voice. It's like distinctly his. And you hear some similarities to the vocals in the album I have, the Last Persecution album. Mainly, his voice just seems to reassure the listener with the lyrics.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think he may have been a little more optimistic, too, when he was recording this album, because I think they were expecting it to do well. You got to have a budget to have strings on everything. So he was probably feeling good about that. And then it didn't do very well, apparently, for whatever reason. May not have had anything to do with the actual album quality. Could just have to do with how promotion was set up or not set up for the record when it came out. Maybe the marketing failed. There's just no telling what happened. While I'm here, I just want to see if I can find, so we can play it briefly, the clip of him, if there is a clip, of him and Jeff Tweedy together. There may not be. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. No, this was in, the mid-2000s, so not as many camera phones. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't look like it to me, so maybe it never got captured. Anyway, kudos to Jeff Tweedy for doing that and for kind of reviving his career so he could make more good albums, So, interesting artist for sure. All right, folks, why don't you let us know what you thought of this, and if you've ever heard of Bill Fay, if you've ever seen him play, because I think he even plays gigs now and again. If you have any experience at all with him, let us know. Or if you've heard Wilco do the song, or Jeff Tweedy alone, or if you've heard Nick Cave perform Bill Fay songs, let us know about that. Just any experience you have. And if you have other suggestions for us, leave those below as well. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And if you enjoyed our presentation, please subscribe. All right, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll catch you on the next one. All right, take care, folks.
See you all later.